When Gene Sherrin became a minister, he felt a calm in his heart and mind the like of which he'd never known before, or at least not since his childhood. He was living, he felt, in the peace that was the due of those who served the Lord. Nevertheless, there were times when he felt lonely and in need of a mate. Since he was a man just like any other, his having become a man of the cloth had changed nothing in that sense. A number of women made a show of interest in him among his parishioners. All of them staid, sensible women who sought to follow the teachings of the Holy Book. Or so he believed, even if the truth was some of them only attended church to seek a mate or position themselves at the fount of all the gossip that did the rounds. But Gene managed to survive or deflect the advances of the women who set out to flirt with him and court his favor, until, that is, Kate Conley, as she was then known, began to attend Mass every Sunday. There was something different about her, he thought. She wasn't one of those staid, matronly sorts who wished to run his house for him and thereby find themselves the object of envy of so many of the other ladies in the vicinity. No, this young woman seemed to attend church for quite a different purpose. Quite what that purpose was, Gene wasn't sure at first, but he was determined to find out. Every time he stood in the pulpit of a Sunday and gazed out upon his congregation, he would notice the rapt expression on her pretty face that lent her the appearance of someone who was lost in a world of her own. As the weeks wore on, Gene found himself looking for the woman's face, and when he spotted her sitting there in her usual place, on the end of the fourth row back next to the aisle, something would leap up inside him. He wondered if he were falling in love with this woman. How absurd, he scoffed at his own thoughts. A man in my position falling in love with some woman just because she has a pretty face, just like some schoolboy. Absurd or not, though, he continued to wonder about her and keep an eye out for her face each Sunday before beginning his sermon. Who was this woman, he wondered, and was she married? Very possibly, he thought, and yet there was something about her solitary manner and the rapt expression that would come into her face as she sat there in her pew among the congregation each Sunday that caused Gene Sherrin to wonder. Somehow she just looked like she was single. He couldn't have said why he felt this, but he did. Call it intuition, if you like. Then one Sunday he climbed up into the pulpit and gazed out at the faces of the members of his congregation before starting on his sermon, the same as every week, only this week something was different. He didn't know why this was so exactly, but he could feel it in his bones. A sort of panic ran through him as he scoured the sea of faces before him with his eyes, and now he realized what it was. Indeed, something truly was different this week. The face of the girl he'd come to think of as the mystery woman was nowhere to be seen. Where was she, he wondered. Why hadn't she come to church this Sunday? His blood raced through his veins and his legs went a little weak, even if he would have been loath to confess as much, even to himself, proud as he was. Of course, there were lots of possible explanations for the woman's absence from the congregation, none of which he was in a position right then either to confirm the veracity of or discount. Even so, he found himself considering a number of possible eventualities as he opened the Holy Bible and turned the pages. Perhaps she's not feeling very well, he thought. Yes, that's the most likely explanation. She would almost certainly be back in her usual place again next Sunday, he told himself. But what if she wasn't? What if she'd left Kansas altogether? The mere thought of this was sufficient to cause Minister Gene Sherrin's head to spin. I really am a fool, he thought, and he told himself that he must get a grip. The people were waiting for him to begin his sermon, and here he was bothering about things that in truth were none of his business. He began to read from the Bible. This week he had chosen to tell the story of the Good Samaritan. The passage had a pleasing homiletic quality to it, he felt, and yet he found himself reading it today without paying much heed to the words of the holy text, even as he uttered them. The rest of the service went the same way. Somehow he got through it all without really giving much thought either to his own words or the reactions of the people in his congregation. Given the great enthusiasm he felt for his calling, this just wasn't like him. What was wrong with me today? He asked himself afterwards when everyone had left, but he knew very well what it was. She hadn't come to church today, and he'd missed her. Seems like I really am in love with that woman, he thought. He waited for the following Sunday to come round with an impatience he had not known in years, and which, had he taken greater heed of his reading of the Holy Book, he should have known ran against the grain in so far as the good Lord's teachings were concerned. But he was a man divided.